Sit down and have a cup of tea with me. Let's talk about what's going on in the world and why does it seem that things are getting worse when there's all these intuitives and psychics and spiritual people saying, oh, we're moving towards new earth. We're, awakening to a new frequency of love and unity and compassion and kindness. And then you look out your front door and or social media and you're like, there's not much of that here right now. Well, here's what I want to help you understand. And this is based on some visions and some insights that my spirit team has given me about how energy works. So last night I was meditating and I received a message about what is happening in the quantum field, like within the energetics of humanity. And the way that my brain or my spirit team or even my soul works compared to maybe what some other intuitives and psychics might be getting is I am taken in my mind's eye, so you could say that's my third eye, into a frequency beyond the human understanding. I'm taken up beyond the realm of humanity. And I almost look down from like the fifth dimension perspective and actually further out than that. The wisdom keepers, they reside in the 12th dimension. And so some of the information they give me from that frequency and from that information are hard to interpret in the human comprehension and mind. And so they try to break that down in ways that give us clarity of things on ways we can comprehend it. And that's what my book Parables for a New Earth is about, is taking the quantum physics and the energetics and the what's happening beyond the realm of the logical scene and bringing it into the logical mind to help comprehend a little bit about what is actually happening on Earth. So I highly recommend you grab that book. There is a link below in the description. And if you don't want to order off Amazon, you are more than welcome to go get it off of my website. I am currently out of copies. I should be having some copies come in. What day is it? Next week. So I will make sure I try to keep stock on that if you are someone that is not using Amazon, which I 100% understand. So I was given this vision last night of souls coming to Earth and the process of reincarnation. So I want you know what, let me just draw this for you because it's easier sometimes for me to draw things. Okay, so this is what, and I'm going to attempt to show you this vision that I had in my brain on this whiteboard. So bear with me. But this is what they showed me. First, they showed me the yin and yang sign. So if you know what that is, it's that this is the dark side of it, and then this is the white side. So what they showed me is that this is spinning this way, but it's also spinning this way, and it's also spinning this way. So if you imagine like literally an orb of light spinning in all directions. And what they have explained to me is that the darkness is becoming less dark on Earth. So this is turning into a different kind of dark. So the frequency is shifting higher within the quantum field of the human consciousness. And so what is happening is the energetics of Earth are, as it's spinning in orbit, it's shifting higher towards God. So this is going to be God's energy up here. And what took place is, if you haven't seen my teachings about source energy, God's creating of all things, it creates things out of itself as its own image. And so that image then projects itself into all these other experiences in different dimensions. And one of those happens to be a human. Okay. So, but the interesting thing is this energy So we'll just use myself as an example. This is me. This is my eternal soul. This is my eternal spirit. This part of me never, ever, 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 ever is disconnected from God. This is remains eternal forever. And I am exactly as God. I radiate as God. I love as God. I hold God frequency because I am of God. So of this part of my spirit and my soul, it then comes down and it creates an oversoul in which it can begin to project itself out into other dimensions as well. So one of those is going to be the human experience. So what takes place? Okay, Spirit is correcting me. So this is a real-time communication that I'm getting. This is how God works with me. This is Spirit's like, whoa, 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 you're saying that wrong. So let me just correct myself and listen to Spirit. So they're telling me to take this part out. This is interesting. This is a frequency that has not came through before. So I'm just going to listen to what they're saying. So they are saying that this part of ourself does project out. Now, it doesn't mean, so let me ask them a little bit more about why they're showing me this. They want, this is the comprehension that they want us to understand, that this part of us is always eternal, but it does project itself into other dimensions. Okay, they are confirming that I was right about having another oversoul that helps guide me. So, okay, so this makes more sense. Now they're telling me that this part of ourselves is the guiding, it's like almost like a spirit guide that we've created for ourselves in the experience. So when we talk about our higher self has a higher self. This is super crazy and complicated, but I'm just going to speak as what they're showing me. So what is taking place is this part of ourself is projecting out, and this part of ourself is eternally connected to our true higher self. Now, what takes place in the energetic field is our spirit comes down to be a human, and then it goes through the process of that human experience, and then it returns back. So it's like this. It's a continuation of in and out, just like this, as you can see. So if the energetics of the entire earth of humanity is shifting into new frequency, what is happening to us individually? We are also, because we are this, we are also connected to this. I know this is a really bad drawing, but I hope that I am being a little bit clear for you guys. But what is happening is this life death process that we go through with this human experience is expanding this part of ourselves, and we are returning back to this part of ourselves, which is returning back to this part of ourselves. So we're going back to God's frequency. Okay. So what they're showing me is that each time our soul comes back down to earth, we have a little bit more awareness in this part of ourself, of this part of ourself, of this part of ourself. So we are ascending back into our truth, which is back into source energy God. And the higher frequency we get, the less we come down into these dimensions, because we learn our lesson here on earth. And then, not a lesson, we learn what we desired. That's not a really great way to say that. Lessons are teaching tools. So it's not like, I think I have to be careful, because sometimes coming from religion, there's a negative frequency that we can put with the word lesson. Lessons are like not necessarily what we do. We give ourselves experiences to co-create with our higher self. So our higher self is always attempting to help us to create more of ourselves here on earth. And then we're moving ourselves back in. So what they showed me last night is that what is happening is this frequency is becoming more connected to God. Therefore, when we come back down into our human body, and we see this with the children right now, we are coming more connected to this part of ourselves, and therefore we're coming in with remembering of our past lives. We're coming in with remembering our intuition. We're coming in with remembering our gifts. We're coming in with remembering where we've come from. We're coming in with more openness to explore that part of ourselves. This is why you're seeing more and more spiritual teachers, spiritual podcasts, near-death experiences, all that stuff, because we're becoming more and more aware of who we are, because we are actually going through this process of becoming lighter and lighter and lighter in our energy field and frequency. I hope that made sense. So, why does it appear that it's getting darker right now? And this is because if you are going through your awakening process, and it's interesting how spirit continues to bring the same teachings through over and over, because you guys, spirit is not that complicated. When I say spirit, I mean like source energy, God, our guides, our higher self, everything is one energy. There's always one answer to everything with God, and that is love. That is compassion. That is coming back into the truth of who you are and allowing yourself to radiate at that truth. And so the answer is always inward. The answer is always love. The answer is always remembering who you are. All the other things that we go through, the shadow work, the healing, all that stuff is a byproduct and a symptom of us coming back to ourselves. So it's not that we shouldn't go through these things, because we have to get to where we're going, because that's what a physical world is. We have to understand that the process that we're going through in our own healing, where we're pulling up trauma, we're allowing our energy to heal, where we're going deeper into understanding ourselves differently. Like, why do I keep doing that thing? Or where did this trauma come from? Or why do I feel this way? Did my mom feel that way? Did my grandma feel that way? Am I repeating a generational cycle? Am I coming to earth to break cycles? Am I here as a starseed? Am I here as an earth angel? Like, there's all these things and awarenesses that we're all coming into. And that is allowing our frequency to become less and less dense. And so if you remember the yin and yang becoming lighter and lighter and lighter, that is literally what we are coming. We're becoming less and less dense and more light. Now, the beauty of God's energy, and this is very complicated to explain, but they have given me insight and vision into the quantum realm and the field of the consciousness of God. And darkness is not the same type of darkness that we have on earth within the realm of God's consciousness. Darkness is almost like the air in between things. It's like the glue that holds the light together. So it's like, I don't even know if I have an example. Oh, let me see if this works. So here is a crystal, and I don't know if you can see this very well, but you can see these different things within it. So each of these little parts in there could be holding dark and other parts holding light. And that is actually what's holding this together. So this would be God's energy creating more of itself. Okay. So, but this is constantly expanding, constantly growing, constantly creating more of itself. And this is literally the thought of God. It is God thinking and creating more and more of itself. And the thought goes out and in, out and in, out and in. And so therefore it's like a pulsing of energy. So what we're seeing here on our earth is the pulsing and the creating of more light and the shedding of the darkness. And to shed, to heal, you have to see what needs to be released. It's the symptom of it. It's almost like when you get sick, your body produces symptoms. That's what's taking place. But the symptoms are actually the clues that your body is healing yourself, is trying to heal you. So if you get a cold and you start having a fever, or you start getting, different parts of your body start to, give you signs and signals, hey, something's up. The body is constantly trying to heal itself. Now we can resist that healing. We can hold it back. by our beliefs and by agreeing with the sickness. But the reality of it is it's always going to be attempting to heal itself. It's just like when you cut yourself, or you get a cut on your leg or your arm, like there's always going to be a scab and then it's going to heal. So we are seeing the wounds of the collective being exposed, and then we're going to have to go through the healing process of that to then radiate a new frequency. So Earth is literally, through the humans, we are like the fever of the earth is healing itself and allowing the radiation to shift. So these new humans, um, babies that are coming into earth now are coming in with a higher frequency. And if you see in your mind's eye a continuation of high frequency, what is going to be happening within the next 100, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 years with the earth's energy and frequency? It's just going to keep getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And that is how we're connecting with and developing new earth. It's like our soul comes, we go through the denseness, we create new, we come back into spirit. It's a continual cycle of coming yin and yang, light and darkness, death and life. And within each of those processes, we are coming back into the remembrance. Now, what can happen is a earthling or a human can get stuck in that cycle. And that's why starseeds, angels, and helpers are coming to earth to radiate a frequency of remembering for humanity so they don't come back and get stuck into that loop. And the children coming in that are more connected to their intuition, more connected to their spirit, more connected to the higher realms, are getting parents now that can help them continue that frequency. And imagine if these children are capable to hold that, knowing what their children will be like on earth. But here's the thing, is less and less and less humans are going to be here. And I know that saying it sounds negative from our perspective, but from Spirit's perspective, there's less and less need to come here to have the experience of Earth. So Earth is literally turning in, it's enhancing and growing into another dimension, which in my mind's eye, now I could be wrong with this, but my mind's eye is, I think about the Octarians, I think about the Pleiadians, I think about the other dimensions like Lemurians. Where did they begin the process? Now, the same beings on these planets are not necessarily the same beings that were in that ascension process, but there was a cycle. There's always a cycle. We always have a choice. Other beings in other dimensions may live for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 6,000 years plus, but in their time, in their frequency, time doesn't exist like it does for us. So if you've heard like the biblical saying, there is a verse in the Bible that says, to God, 1,000 years is a day and a day is 1,000 years. That's literally because frequency shifts into a different realm, the higher frequency you go. So time doesn't exist the way it does for us in the other dimensions. And so what is taking place on a universal level at this moment, and why we even have other star systems that want to help us through this, is because if you take that yin and yang beyond the human experience, beyond the earthly experience, out into a universal experience, and you see that light and darkness pulsing and rotating and radiating with itself, then everything's impacted by what we're doing here on earth. And so we're radiating a new frequency. It's almost like if you look at the middle of this and you see the middle, that very middle is going to impact the outside too, and how it radiates. So it's radiating that, like, we might be, not that we are the center of the universe, but we could be at, if in our mind's eye, the way we could understand this is, if we're at the center of the universe, we're the cell, let's say, we're the one that helps expand and grow, we're the heart beat, then what we're doing is going to impact the rest of the body. And so this is why other dimensions are feeling, they want to help us. They are coming to assist us. That's why we have starseeds. That's why we have earth angels, and more and more and more of them coming to earth, even more than ever before. So I don't know if this is helpful for you to have this information. My goal in this is to give you a little bit of hope that from the quantum field, from the higher dimensional frequency and understanding, we are moving into a new era, a new frequency, a new energy of love. But for this moment, we are seeing the symptoms of our sickness coming up, the sickness of humanity that has been here for a very, very, very long time. And if we've had a sickness held in our collective body for thousands and thousands of years, then it's going to be a difficult healing process. And we're going to see a lot of that coming out. I don't share a lot about what I get as far as like what to expect with this, other than if you follow me on TikTok, I did share a message yesterday that I have been seeing some meetings taking place over in other countries. I am in the US. I live in Kansas, right in the middle of the US. I am seeing support coming to America in the near future. I don't have a direct timeline because, again, timing is not the same for humans as it is for spirit. But spirit is showing me visions of other countries coming up with a plan to come and support us and help us. And so I'm not going to say that there's not going to be a manifestation or a visual appearance of war, like even a world war. But I can tell you, in the energetic field that I am seeing, we are not going to be in that energy a super long time. In the meantime, your job, how you could help this to speed up, is by sitting in the frequency of love, by meditating. If you have a hard time meditating, put some headphones on, listen to frequency music, get in touch with your heart chakra. Even if you have to think about your cat that you love, even if you have to think about your children, even if you, like, not in a scary way, not in a fearful way, think of something that made you laugh so hard you like almost peed your pants. Like, think of things that bring you radiating love and focus on that. And even if you do that for 17 seconds at a time, that's enough energy to start shifting this quantum field to higher frequency and dimensions. And you absolutely have the power to do that because, like I said in my drawing, you are also God. You just have to be reminded. I hope this is helpful for you. I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.